So let's talk about our government for a minute. Out in Chicago, you have a governor and a mayor who are fighting the president about trying to do what's best for the citizens of that city and that state. Mayor Johnson is talking about how the right wants a second Revolutionary War. In the meantime, he's doing his best to sign executive orders to keep the National Guard and ICE out of Chicago because he feels that they are doing harm to his city and he needs to protect his citizens. Meantime, Donald Trump is sending in the National Guard to help protect ICE while they are trying to do their job and enforce immigration and customs laws. Laws that have been on the books for a long time now. Laws that were enforced before Joe Biden by Democratic and Republican presidents alike. Laws that during Joe Biden were no longer enforced because they were told to stand down while the border was left to remain open and illegal immigrants, I should say, were allowed to run rampant in our country. Now, Donald Trump has come in and said, guess what? I'm not doing anything new. I'm just going to enforce the law again. So I was sending out ICE to do their job again. And in doing so, they have been attacked. They have been threatened. Their lives have been put on the line numerous times. Their families have been threatened. The lives of women and children who have nothing to do with this have been threatened by citizens of this country. These are people out there every day trying to protect our cities and our streets and clean this country up from violent gang members, Trinidad Wargua, MS-13, and others like them. And yet, they're getting threatened. Their families are being threatened. And nobody on the Democratic side is willing to say we need to stop this rhetoric. We need to tone this down. But it does seem like certain Democratic mayors are starting to come around, starting to realize the good that is happening. They're seeing for themselves how their cities are being cleaned up and streets are being made safer for people. The mayor of Baltimore has reached out and said he would openly welcome the National Guard to be sent in to help clean up the city streets, to make things safer for people. This is what happens when Democrats and Republicans can actually stop and get along. Put politics aside and remember why you were elected in the first place, to serve the greater good of the people that have elected you. So, that's what's going on in certain cities. Cities are fighting back. States are fighting back. Some of them are starting to say, hey, we could use you. Now on to California. Gavin Newsom, the governor of California, is blaming Donald Trump because the Palisades in California has not received federal funding to be able to rebuild. Federal funding. During a government shutdown, when the feds are having a hard time deciding where to send any kind of funding. Where's the state money to start the process? Where's the state money that should have started this process immediately? Why is it all of a sudden during a government shutdown, Gavin Newsom says that the federal government is not doing anything to help out? So that brings everything back to, once again, Democrats would rather fight Trump to grandstand than talk to ask for help. Be open and honest about why things are going bad and the way that you've done it that has not helped out the situation. You can't blame Trump for every little problem that your state, city, town, local municipality is having because of your ineffective leadership. Because last time I checked, Gavin Newsom's been in office a lot longer than Trump's been president. I know for the last 4 years, when Joe Biden was president, he was still in office. So that means that the problems California is having now didn't just start now. Your ineffective leadership has been going on a lot longer than the Californians should have allowed. Now, hopefully, come this next election, they will rectify that situation. And I hope Gavin Newsom doesn't even think to try to take his platform to the countrywide stage and think he's going to screw up the United States the way he screwed up California. Because it's not going to happen. The people of this great country are not stupid enough and not willing to shove their heads that far up their ass that everybody's going to go, yes, we've seen how well you screwed up California. We're going to let you screw up the country the same way. Now on to this government shutdown. The government shutdown has been in effect for a few weeks now. And quite honestly, the way the government's been run for the last number of years, what's the difference? They've got nothing accomplished. It's just been fighting and arguing back and forth. This side does this side does that. You said this, you said that. You're a fascist, a racist, a homophobe, a xenophobe, a bigot. And yeah, just general pettiness on both sides. But everybody's sitting there saying, well, the Republicans control the House, they control the Senate, they control the presidency, so they're the ones shutting the government down. Unfortunately, that's not true. So the Republicans passed a continuing CR, a clean resolution, through the House. Signed, passed along, it's ready to go. It gets sent to the Senate. Now, the Republicans do control the majority in the Senate, but the way the Senate is worked, the minority really has control. Now, there are a lot less senators that are Democrats in the Senate. That's a fact. Republicans control the Senate. That's a fact. And the only reason they control it is because they have the majority. The minority has the ability to what's known as filibuster. And what a filibuster is just a big fancy word for stall tactic. If we don't want this to go through, we filibuster. We put a pause on it. And we can pause it as long as we like. So Chuck Schumer, in all his great wisdom, has decided, no, we're not going to pass this CR. Because you need Democratic votes to be able to move forward. And if every Democrat says, no, we're not doing it, then it's not going anywhere. Because they know if they said yes, then this would go to President Trump, and President Trump would sign the continuing CR, and the government would be funded. But because Democrats want to stand on this holy ground of health care costs, they're not budging. But what they're also not saying is that since Obamacare went in, healthcare costs have been rising at a drastic rate for a number of years. Why is it only now that they're going to stand on this hill and die by this sword for healthcare costs for Americans when it's been going on for over 10 years? Because Donald Trump is the president. And they will find anything they can to try to make him look bad. Like he's not trying to do the best he can, as one man can, for this country of ours. But the problem is, for Mr. Schumer, this has backfired in a drastic way. Because the government has been shut down, Donald Trump now has the ultimate authority to be able to say what things get funded and what don't. So, the healthcare issue, he could get funded. But the healthcare for illegal immigrants doesn't need to be funded. The programs that the USAID were doing that the Democrats want back, they don't get funded. But WIC, for women, that gets funded. He just signed an order to make sure that the military gets paid. That gets funded. So because they want to filibuster and stop this CR from going through, they've actually handed more power to President Trump than they wanted to. Chuck Schumer says this shutdown gets better for Democrats every single day. It does not. As more and more people open up their eyes and realize how this government actually works and realize that Democrats are the one holding this government hostage because they want to have a temper tantrum over illegal immigrants, the country wakes up more and more. The people wake up more and more. They realize the Democrats are not fighting for the citizens of this country. They are fighting for the illegal immigrants in this country. Not even the legal immigrants, because the legal immigrants are here doing what they need to do to try to provide for a better life. The illegal immigrants, the Tren de Araguas, the MS-13s, the violent gang members that have come over to this country and done nothing but harm people and try to destroy our way of life is what the Democrats are really fighting for. Why? Because if they can get them in here and they can manage to get them to start voting, they will vote Democrat and keep the Democrats in power. All of this is a power move. All of it has been a power move. Since Joe Biden opened the borders and allowed all these illegal immigrants to come into this country, it has been a power move to get the Democrats to be able to stay in power. Because if you can't make voters decide to vote for you, you can bring them in. Give them everything. Give them a driver's license. Give them free health insurance. Give them free housing. Give them, in California, a chance to buy a house. No money down. 0 interest. And all we want is your money. Money and power is all this is about. It's all government is about anymore. No longer is the government of the people, by the people, for the people, elected to represent the people. Now it's about my pockets. How can I line my pockets? How can Nancy Pelosi come in making $100,000 a year, but her net worth be over $200 million? I think it's in the ballpark of $270 million. She can't make that off of a politician's salary. And you can't convince me that she's the world's luckiest investor. Because she did it with insider trading. She did it with insider knowledge that is only given to the government about what programs are about to open up, what programs are going to succeed, and what programs are going to do massively well. And yet, those are the programs that she's invested in. But it's okay. It's okay for politicians to abuse their power, line their pockets, and keep themselves in control. Every political position should have term limits. Every political position should have boundaries set. No trading. No stocks. Not while you're in power. Because all you do is prove who you were truly out for. You were elected by the people to serve the people. And all you're doing is serving yourself. This whole government shutdown is doing nothing but serving the politicians. They're not working for us anymore. They're working against us. The American way of life is at risk because the politicians don't care about us. They only want to serve themselves. Why is it the hardworking American people are told how to live their lives by people that have never done anything more than pick up a pen to sign laws that put handcuffs on us and restrict our abilities? We the people are a movement. This movement was started by Charlie Kirk. This movement grew stronger when you assassinated Charlie Kirk. We the people stand with Charlie Kirk and his legacy, and we will continue to discuss and debate these things. I'm always open for a debate. I'm always open for a discussion. What I don't like is when the left can't back up what they have to say with facts. But they want to come at me with emotions. I don't care about your emotions. I don't run off of emotions. What you say does not bother me in the slightest bit. Because all you show is your ignorance and your hate and your intolerance for other people. You want to have an actual discussion, you want to have a debate, please be my guest. I'm happy to do it. But I want you to bring facts to the table, not your feelings. I don't care about your feelings. Your feelings mean nothing to me. You want to go and have a little tirade and cry about Big Orange Man, scary, mean, Nazi, this, that, and the other thing. Take it somewhere else. You want to talk to me about facts? Let's talk. Am I the smartest man? Absolutely not. Do I know everything? Absolutely not. Will I educate myself about any topic at any time for any reason? Yes, I will. I will debate anybody at any time about anything. Will I need prep time? More than likely. But I'll do the research. I'll look into it and I'll see what's going on. But if you want to have a discussion, leave your feelings at the door. Because if not, they will get hurt. We the people are Charlie Kirk. And the question is, who are you? If you like what I have to say, if you feel the same way I do, please leave a like, comment, share this with somebody you think needs to hear it. Subscribe to the channel. Links are in the description if you need to reach out to us for anything, or you can always just leave a comment. I respond back to everything personally. Thank you guys. Be safe. Love you. Bye.